People are sick and tired of you people. You are destructive, and we are going to punish you on Election Day at the ballot box, and you don't even see it coming. So pray, go to church, go to synagogue, or don't if you don't. Be people of faith, but act. But act. Don't leave it to others to carry the day. Don't leave it to others to organize. Don't leave it to others to vote. That's your responsibility as a citizen. That's exactly what the founding fathers would want. Now, I've heard it said that the American Revolution was a religious revolution. It was no such thing. The colonists rose up not because of religious bigotry. They rose up because of tyranny. Tyranny. They rose up because they were believers in God-given natural rights, as explained by, among others, John Locke. They rose up because they believed in private property rights, because they were familiar with the Scottish Enlightenment and contemporaries like David Hume and Adam Smith. They rose up because they didn't believe the British Crown should be able to post soldiers at their businesses and at their homes to intimidate and threaten them. It was not a religious revolution. It was a revolution against tyranny. Tyranny. The Founding Fathers had faith. They had different faiths, or different denominations of certain faiths. Franklin and Jefferson were deists. That doesn't mean they were atheists, doesn't mean they were agnostics. They were deists, which simply put, and I mean simply put, they believed in God, in a super being. But they didn't so much believe in prayer that God waits for human beings to pray and then he delivers. Okay, that's fine. There were others who were Roman Catholics and various Protestants. That's what they were. They were Christians. They were believers. And they were also very careful. The Constitutional Convention. I have a book on my desk that I study all the time, and I'm back at it as I research for my next book. And it's Madison's notes at the Constitutional Convention. They don't talk about this being a religious revival. They didn't have to, because that wasn't being threatened. What they feared was an all-powerful central government. These were serious men doing serious things, and they didn't leave it to other people to do it either. They had just been through a revolution. They went on years and years and years, and they almost lost. What makes this country so exceptional is that when those men met in Philadelphia, they were trying to figure out how to limit their own authority. They were trying to figure out how to ensure that future government officials wouldn't have the power to impose their will, as the king had tried to impose his will on the colonists. They opposed tyranny. That's what they opposed. That's what we oppose. And that's the problem. Now, We have an article here that federal spending rose 16% in 2009. The Census Bureau said that is the largest single budget increase since it was keeping data in 1983. How many times do I have to read something like that where we simply fill in the blank? It's the biggest drop since records have been kept, the biggest increase since records have been kept, and always to our disadvantage and regret. 16%. That has nothing to do with entitlements, government-run health care, all the costs of the regulations and so forth, just budget to budget, 16%. And this president dares to blame George Bush for the deficit? When I came in office, I inherited. When you came in office, you jerk, there was a deficit. There's no question. You quadrupled it. Why is it that the left keeps demanding more and more spending? Even today. They increased the budget 16%, a record. They've increased deficit spending, a record. And then when you call them on it, they pretend they didn't do it. Oh, I'm confused. They're fiscal conservatives. They've been cutting, right? No, wrong. This is destructive, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just destructive of the economy. This will destroy our society as sure as anything else will. This kind of reckless behavior. And then to lie about it. To lie about it. You hear words like unsustainable. And by the way, not just coming from me and others, coming from the government itself. Unsustainable. Well, what does that mean, unsustainable? If the foundation in your home is unsustainable, what does that mean? It means it's eventually going to collapse. Isn't that what it means? And if you're told the foundation in your home is unsustainable and you keep living in your home, what's going to happen to you when the foundation collapses? You're going to be crushed. So we're told Social Security is unsustainable. Medicare is unsustainable. Medicaid's unsustainable. These budget increases are unsustainable. Overall, the debt is unsustainable. What does that mean? What that means is our society is going to collapse. Not because of the environment, by the way. Not because of God, certainly. But because of irresponsible human beings, statists, who keep pushing us in this direction, even though we choose not to go there. This is what the Founding Fathers were talking about. This was what the Founding Fathers were concerned about. The federal government is just too massive. It's involved in anything. As a matter of fact, I can't think of anything it's not involved in. It's in the bedroom. Do you have a toilet? Well, then it's in the toilet. You have a light bulb? It's in the light bulb. You have a car? It's in your engine. You have a medicine cabinet? It's in the medicine cabinet. You want to use a vending machine? It's there too. Send your kids to school? It's all over there. You can't escape it. That's not a constitutional republic. It's a soft tyranny. Where will it go? Well, that depends on us. Now, we have this president, and we have this Congress, because too many sat on their hands, not praying so much, but they were disgusted, so they decided to stay away. That's what happens when you leave the political battlefield. God Almighty, I firmly believe, wants us to take care of ourselves, wants us to defend our children, wants us to look out for our fellow man. We cannot do that if we're not engaged. We cannot do that if we leave the battlefield, the political battlefield, to our opponents who have designs on us and this country. That's obvious. So pray. Yes, pray. And go to church. Go to synagogue. And go to your place of worship. Or, if you're an atheist, don't. But do engage in earthly ways. Because that is how. That is how we will save God's gift to mankind, which is this marvelous country. That's what the revolution was about. It was a political revolution, a revolution for liberty against tyranny. That's what the American Revolution was all about.